Lilo, I am very, very glad to meet with her here in Health Lifestyle Center Ascension in Montenegro. And I have 4 questions. And the first question is, what do you do in your life now? And what was your job, the main job, work in your life? What did you do and do now?
Okay, well, that's an involved question with an involved answer.
Yes.
Let's start with the fact that in my late teens and early 20s, I discovered the world of sport for athletes with a disability. I have always loved sport, and as long as I can remember, my first memories were of watching the Olympics on television. And I was extremely moved by the display of excellence that one would see on the Olympics, even as a child. And there was something inside me that wanted to have an opportunity to express myself in an athletic, active, and excellent manner.
Super.
And so by my early 20s, when I was at the University of British Columbia, doing my studies in Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, I was given the opportunity to participate in my first experience with sport for people with a disability. Sport for athletes with a disability later. I didn't consider myself an athlete at that time. I was a person with a disability that tried various sports, and I did not know that sports for people with a disability even existed. Once I discovered it, it was like love at first sight.
Super.
And it was a love and a passion that burned within me for 30 years. And is with me today and will be till the day I die. I love being excellent and I love being active, and truly God made us to move. God made us to move our bodies, and the minute we stop moving our bodies properly, we start to deteriorate. He did not make us to be parasites.
Yes.
He made us to be active. And something within me is like a burning, yearning boil in the blood to be physically active and excellent at that. And so when I discovered this opportunity for sports for people with disabilities, I tried a number of sports. Chief among them at that time was team handball for the blind.
Wow. Handball. Super.
Yes, team handball for the blind. It is a modified version of handball, and it is played by visually impaired, totally blind people. So both categories, visually impaired and totally blind. But it can be played by you and anyone else. You just have to put blindfolds on.
Yeah.
Okay? And we play with a ball with a bell inside, and the rest is pretty wild and crazy. And I fell in love with this sport, and so much so, and God blessed me with a lot of athletic talent, which was yet to be discovered. I went from getting introduced to this sport today, and approximately 3 months later, I was at the national championships, where I helped my provincial team win their first medal at national championships. I was named to
in the United States, yeah?
In Canada.
In Canada.
I'm Canadian.
Canadian.
Yes. And at these Canadian national championships, I helped my provincial team win a bronze medal, and they named me to something called the national team. I had no idea what that was. But I was soon to find out that the national team is a group, a very small group of men and women who are selected to represent Canada on the international stage.
Amazing. Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
and that is how I got to my first Paralympic Games in 1984,
1984.
where we won a silver medal.
Silver medal. Wow.
Canada's silver medal.
Where it was?
Where was it?
Yeah.
Sadly, at that time, the International Olympic Committee did not have an agreement with the Paralympic Committee, and Los Angeles, as an organizing committee, chose not to organize the Paralympic Games. And so a wonderful community at Hofstra University in Long Island, New York, chose to organize the then called International Games for Persons with a Disability.
Super. Thanks God. Praise the Lord. Yes. For this opportunity.
Yeah. So the Paralympics are the parallel Olympics.
Yes.
So they're not the paraplegic games, as many people think.
Yes.
The para stands for the parallel. Same level, same excellence. Okay.
Yeah.
Same, to many degrees, same sport, same high standards, but people with athletes with a disability. And so I came home with this incredible silver medal, and my feet didn't touch the ground for, I believe, 6 months.
How old were you?
I was 23.
23.
I was 23. I was a late bloomer.
Yes.
And I did not know about the opportunity for athletes with a physical disability earlier than that. I had been craving for something like that, but I had no knowledge how I could access. And of course, when I watched the Olympics on television, I saw no athletes that looked like me on the screen. And so when the Paralympics came into my life, by the way, the first Paralympics were in 1960 in Rome. And so once I came back to Canada after those Paralympics with the silver medal, of course, everybody's like, wow, we've got this crazy wild talent. What are we gonna, we want her to do different sports, win many different medals. So I tried swimming, I tried jumping, I tried running, I tried different things. And for one reason or another, I chose the shot put and the discus. I think one of the main reasons why I chose shot put and discus was because I loved to be strong. And I love to spend time in the weight room, lifting heavy weights. And besides swimming, I don't like cold water. Here at the sanatorium, they certainly know that I don't like cold water. So I don't like cold water. I don't like early mornings. Running was too boring for me. And jumping, there was other things that I didn't like. I don't like dirt, so I don't like to jump in the sand and get all dirty. No, that's not me either. And so I am built for high jump.
High jump.
Yes, I am built for high jump. My perfect body for high jump.
Yes.
However, I cannot see the bar, and high jump is not one of the sports that is participated at by visually impaired or blind people. No high jump at the Paralympics.
Okay.
And so I had to make a choice among the sports that were available, and so I chose discus and shot put. In the end, discus was my greater love. However, both shot put and discus, I was for many years. Excuse me. For many years, I was the world record holder and the Paralympic world record holder in both discus and shot put. Now, of course, I was not built as a shot putter.
Yes.
And perhaps I don't even look like a discus thrower anymore. I look more like a high jumper. But when I was training, the shoulders were bigger, the arms were bigger, the back was bigger, the legs were bigger. But certainly, I was shot putters are meant to be built like this. That was not me. But I made good use of my very long limbs and my speed and power and strength. And so, fortunately, I was able to progress very quickly in both
With-
discus and shot put.
Okay.
And I played handball parallel to the World Championships,
Super.
but I focused more and more and more of my energy into discus and shot put. And in the end, I only stayed with the discus and shot put because I found that although I love team sports, I don't like the team sport politics.
Yes.
And it's very hard to live life without politics. There's politics everywhere, unfortunately. And you can try to do your best to stay above it. But in the end, it is not my love of team handball that pushed me out. It was the politics. So I decided that I would take on discus and shot put where my efforts were the only result. My loss was for me to deal with, was for me to learn from. My win was for me to be thankful to God and to share with my coach, my family, and my sponsors. Okay,
Super.
but it was all on me. So in a team sport, I can work like a dog, but if you choose not to train nearly as hard as I do, we play together.
Yes.
And I may be strong, but your weakness, there's a saying in English that says that we are only as strong as our weakest link.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
And so I decided that I preferred to have my sport life as much as I can in my own hands, in my control.
Yes.
And that's why I went to discus and shot put. Fortunately, with discus and shot put, I went to the 1988 Seoul Paralympic Games, where I won a medal. I went to the 1992 Summer Paralympic Games in Barcelona, where I won 2 medals and many world records. To 1996 to Atlanta, Georgia, where I won medals and world records. And then I went to Sydney, and due to a very, very unfortunate accident that happened only 5 minutes before I started to throw, I came in 4th. And so that was Lilo 1.0. However, while I was doing the sports, I was also I had also started on a parallel career. The parallel career was being an athlete's representative, at first at the provincial level, then at the national level. By the time I got to 2000, I became an athlete's representative at the international level, at the International Paralympic Committee.
It's like producer in cinema production. Yes. Representative of
exactly, and I became an advocate. The representative of athletes is an advocate for the athletes' rights and needs, and is the voice of the athletes to the administrative and political body which organizes our sport.
Super.
And
Very
so,
interesting.
And so that's where I went. So that was the parallel career, which led me to the highest level of, that led me to the highest decision-making table in international sports for people with athletes with a disability, which is the executive committee of the International Paralympic Committee.
Wow.
There is not much higher beyond that. And by the fact that I was also the chair of the president of the International Athletes Committee, I was nominated to the International Olympic Committee Athletes Council. And so
it's very high position, yes.
No, parallel.
Yeah.
For me, IPC, International Paralympic Committee, is the highest for the Paralympics. The IOC is the International Olympic Committee, which is the highest of the Olympic Games.
Yes, I understand.
And I just moved over this way. So I bridged the gap, and I I was involved both at the International Paralympic Committee at this highest level and the International Olympic Committee. So the voice of Paralympic athletes, the voice of disabled athletes, the voice of blind athletes was heard at the Olympic level as well as the Paralympic Committee.
Amazing, amazing. It was your efforts to make the bridge, yes. between these two communities.
I feel that education, awareness, enlightenment goes hand in hand. And I think we make a better world, a smaller world, with greater understanding, with more peace, with less hate, when we know each other, when we understand each other, when we value each other.
Yes.
And in this way, we were able to bridge, and thanks to the efforts of the former president of the IOC, Juan Antonio Samaranch, he made an agreement with the International Paralympic Committee. So we are parallel committees holding parallel international games, hosting our parallel elite athletes doing their very best in their sports, one at the Olympics, the other at the Paralympics. And my third parallel career was while doing sports, while doing the political work, I was also becoming a motivational speaker.
Wow.
And so I became an international caliber keynote motivational speaker. And I have made over 2,000 one-hour keynote addresses in 2 languages, Spanish and English. I don't know in how many countries, maybe 30 countries. Everything from schools, churches, seminars, workshops, corporations, and international organizations. And that's what I've been doing for work.
Amazing.
I haven't
awesome.
been, not busy at all.
Yes, not busy. No.
Not busy at all.
Please tell us top 3 secrets of your success.
3 secrets of my success. Well, I think the first one is have no fear.
Okay, the main, yes?
Yeah, have no fear. I think a lot of people are held back. They're held back by fear. They're held back by the unknowing of what is beyond what we know.
Yes.
What if I fail? No one asks, what if I succeed? People always ask, what if I fail?
Yes.
What if I hurt myself? What will people think? Will people accept me?
Yes.
And so having no fear, and that leads to a greater confidence in one's own self in order to take up a challenge. You know, we can pray to God, and God has given us the talent, God has given us the ability, God has given us everything. But we sometimes, it's like on a restaurant menu.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take this and I'll take that, and I don't want this and I don't like that. And so part of what's on the menu is to believe, to step forward in faith, to have no fear. I believe God says in about 77 times in the Bible, do not fear.
Yes.
I am with you till the end of time. Do not fear.
Do not fear, yes.
And fear, I believe, is almost like a sin.
Yes, I agree. 100%, yes.
And so do not fear is the first one. The second one is do the very best that you can with what God has given you. Do the absolute very best. And that means do the very best that you can with the talents that God has given you. Do the very best that you can with the skills, desires, dreams, opportunities, and now we get interesting. Challenges, limitations,
yes.
Fears, injuries, doubts. You cannot do the very best you can with only these 5. You have to do your very best with all of
All.
them. The entire package. Whatever God gave you, height, weight, shortness, tallness, age, youth, whatever, rich, poor, weak, strong, whatever. This is your package.
Do the best. with this package,
Your
yes.
challenge is to do the very best that you can with what you have been given.
Super.
That's skill number 2. That key number 2. And and 3, oh, it's difficult to say what's 3. There's 2
I think-
more. There's
yeah,
2 more.
2
One
more.
more
Uh-huh.
is focus.
Mhm.
Focus on the things that you can control. And do not focus on the things you cannot control. We get lost in, but it's raining today, or I'm too short. You cannot control your height. You cannot control the weather.
Yeah.
Okay? Focus on what you can control. I will do the very best that I can with the height that I have. I cannot control the weather, so I'll dress better. I'll dress for the weather. I will choose to do something else, but don't use the lack of control over something to dissuade you from your path, because that's what we use as an excuse. Oh, I can't. We do not allow an excuse, okay? Control is an illusion, but over that umbrella of illusion is something called courage. You must have courage to simply focus on the things that you can control and do not focus on the things you cannot control. And the 4th is never, ever, ever give up.
Give up, yeah.
That's simple. It sounds simple.
Yes.
In essence, it is simple. In practice, it's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. And I think we know by Job and his experiences and many experiences of the people in the Bible that we have for examples, we see many people that have had to overcome challenges, threats, pain, torture, in athletes,
Betray.
athletes speak, injuries, better talent, competition,
Yeah.
weather, whatever, disability.
Yes.
And I have always chosen to use the word give up, the phrase give up, as in, I don't know how to give up. I never give up. I'm very tenacious. So I always turn things, a negative, I turn into a positive. And in the end, basically, I'll tell you one thing, all those four skills, four keys to success, I remind myself every day that God didn't make any of us winners. And God didn't make any of us losers.
Yes.
God made all of us choosers.
Choosers, yes.
Okay.
I agree.
So he gave us the power, the most incredible power in this universe, on this planet, is the power of choice. And so this is why I say we have to challenge ourselves every day to choose to do the very best that you can with what you've been given, to choose to focus on what you can control and not focus on the things you cannot control, to choose to look fear in the face, respect it, recognize it, and then say, excuse me, step aside, I'm going past, right?
Yeah.
And you have to choose not to give up. That's a daily choice.
Wow, thank you very much. This is the golden rules of our life. Yes. Golden wisdom.
Thank you.
Yes. Lilo, very interesting that you come here in this health lifestyle center, Ascension. How did you hear about this? And why did you make decision come here?
To come here. I heard of this place and did not have much information, but I heard of it from a man that whom I met, a brother in the church, whom I met 16, 17 days ago, who taught me about, told me about this center. And when I expressed interest and asked more questions, he said, well, I'm going there. Did you want to go? I said, have passport, we'll travel, let's go.
Yes.
I have heard of centers like this before in North America. In fact, I was invited to speak at a number, I have spoken in many, many places in North America, and especially within our church. And I have even spoken at a center like this, but called Weimar. I don't know if you've heard.
Oh, yes, I know. Weimar Institute.
Yes, I have been at Weimar as a speaker.
Super.
And so I saw the facilities and I saw the kind of treatments and kind of lifestyle changes that they encourage. And I always wanted to go, but one, I was too busy, and two, it is very expensive in North America. Excuse me. And so given that it was economically more feasible here in Europe, I jumped at the chance.
Super. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we have a third question. What did you like here? What the best, as your opinion?
What was the best here?
Yes.
I don't know. Oh my God, everything was really good. Everything was incredible. I think first of all, the mission and the vision of the team, and of course of Igor. This is the focus and the vision that he has for this place is really a godsend. The team that he has put together is absolutely fabulous. They are very spiritual people. They're very caring people. They're very skilled people. They're very knowledgeable in all the fields that they treat here. So the doctor, the massage therapist, the contrast, the hydrotherapies, the lifestyle changes and advice, the nutritional education that we have been given. It is really an all-encompassing view that has been implemented in a very impressive way, in a very rapid way. And only God can do something like that from yesterday to today. Boom, and it's done.
Yeah.
And so I was really impressed by, like I say, the amenities are beautiful. Really, the amenities are gorgeous, and they're not just standard. They're beautiful. They're luxurious.
Yeah, yeah.
They're more than comfortable. It's a pleasure to be in my room. It's a pleasure to go in my comfortable bed with my beautiful, comfortable blanket. Everything, every touch, every detail has been thought out for my comfort. The environment, well, God took care of that. You know, the setting here on top of a mountain, nearly at the top of a mountain, with forests, with fresh air, with peace and quiet, no air pollution, no traffic.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And for those of us who need to relax, to de-stress, to work out the anxieties, to get back in touch with nature, it is an excellent opportunity. And then, of course, the physical therapies. One doesn't know. I thought I was coming here to relax. I thought I was coming here to breathe some fresh air, eat some good food, meet some good people, and just have a good time. Oh my goodness, that did not turn out that way.
Oh, great.
Because we found that I am suffering from a lot of stress. And I am suffering from an injury to my shoulder, and that needs a lot of care. And that I need to, even though as an athlete, I have always looked after my health and my physical shape, The fact is that I have certain problems now, one with the knee, one with the shoulder, stress, adrenal fatigue syndrome, and things like that, that needed addressing. And I wouldn't get that by going to a doctor, by going to a hospital. Here, what is the best is that it is a holistic approach to health.
Yes.
And that includes nutrition, physical activity, water, fresh air, good food, proper therapy, good advice, and of course, God always in the center of it all, leading the way. So it's the holistic approach that I would advise if anyone wants to come here, because one, they need just to get away from the world, to reset.
Yes.
To reset their mind spiritually and mentally, to reset their organism from a nutritional point of view, from a physical activity point of view, from a circulation point of view. There are so many benefits that they're countless.
Great,
I
amazing.
can't say enough.
Okay, enough.